Hey you guys, it's Crystal Lopez here from crystalandcomp.com, and today I'm going to show you how to take one whole chicken and we're going to turn it into three different things. We're going to make a baked chicken dinner. We're going to take some of the leftovers and make this homemade pasta alfredo that's so easy, and then we're going to take the bones and the skin and make homemade chicken broth, and I'm going to show you these cool things that I bought to freeze that in. So this video is from when my mom was in town, and this was one of her last days here, and she wanted to make almost like a Thanksgiving dinner, but using chicken instead. And so I had a whole chicken. I had a bunch of carrots that a neighbor had given us, and we wanted to use those up as well. We had some leftover corn on the cob that we needed to heat up, and I knew that the one whole chicken would not be enough for our whole family, so we also cooked up some chicken breasts, and then she made my grandmother's homemade stuffing, my grandmother's recipe. So it was kind of like a Thanksgiving dinner. We aren't sure if my mom's going to be able to come back at Thanksgiving like she typically does this year. She's got some scheduling conflicts, so we'll just have to see. And she was like, let's do this. So it was absolutely delicious. She made enough that I was able to take dinner over to my in-laws, and we forgot to get the stuff for chicken gravy. And so she just winged it and made chicken gravy, basically using some of the chicken broth and some cornstarch and salt and pepper. And it turned out really good. So this was our mock Thanksgiving dinner using chicken. And then we ended up having, even though we all ate dinner and then I took some leftovers to my in-laws, we still ended up having enough chicken left over that I was able to get another meal out of it. So I want you guys to be thinking of ways that you can take one thing like a chicken, a whole chicken, and how can you get multiple meals out of it? Obviously, we are a big family, so one chicken is not going to, by itself, is not going to feed my family over and over and over again. But because we use these chicken breasts, we were able to stretch things out a little bit. Here are some rolls that I had heated up that I had made. This recipe for these dinner rolls is here on my site, so make sure that you take a look at that. And they are so easy to make. The dough starts in the bread machine, and they're so delicious. And of course, this would not be a mock Thanksgiving without cranberries. My kids love the canned cranberries. So do I. So does my husband. We all do. So make sure that you get some of that out as well. Cranberries and stuffing. I mean, does it get any more comfort food than that? So I'm going to start getting everything set out. You're going to begin to see kids come into the kitchen, and we are going to make some plates, and it's going to be delicious and yummy. And this is what dinner time is like at our house. So I just went ahead and left all the hot stuff on the stovetop, and then the other things are over here on this counter, and we're just making plates and getting people fed. And here is what our plates look like. How delicious is that? It was so incredible. Okay, then a few days later, I'm going to take the leftover chicken meat. So I just took that whole fryer that was left over and stuck it in a bag. And I'm going to gather up a few things like some half and half. You could use whipping cream and milk instead. I've got this Gouda cheese that I need to use up. I've got a bag of spinach, but you could do whatever vegetable you want. You could do whatever cheese you want, okay? I've got a box of penne, and I want to make kind of a one pot meal. It's really a two pot meal, because I am going to boil the noodles, although you could do this all in one pot and boil the noodles in with your cream. I don't prefer to do it that way. All right, every savory meal that I make pretty much starts with olive oil and garlic, a lot of times onion as well, but I didn't have any. I don't think I had any onion. Maybe I was saving the onion for the chicken broth that I'm going to make. But anyway, all right, we're going to get the meat off the bone, and we're just going to thoroughly heat that up in here, and we're going to get our noodles boiling. You don't, I think I already said this, but I'll say it again. You don't have to use penne, use whatever noodle you want. Then after the chicken is thoroughly heated, I mean, it's cooked, so we're just reheating it. We're going to take it and put it in onto a plate off to the side, and then add a little more olive oil and add a little butter, and we're going to make our own Alfredo sauce. It is so much easier to do than you realize. All right, so we're going to get that butter melting and mixing in with that olive oil, and we've got the little crispy bits of the chicken that are left. And then I have also grated that cheese. This is the Gouda cheese. Again, use whatever cheese you want. And we are going to add in the half and half. We don't want to have the heat too high. If you have the heat too high, it will start to separate the, I guess it's the proteins in the milk. All of it will start to separate and it'll get weird and like it separates and it just doesn't look appetizing. So keep your heat at about a medium, but we want it high enough that it will melt this cheese. So keep adding cheese to make it thicker. Keep adding half and half to thin it out, okay? And then I did use some of the shaky cheese as well. Add in your vegetable. The thing about spinach that makes it so easy is it cooks so fast. So spinach or kale or something leafy like that will cook really quickly. You could do broccoli. You could do any veggie you want, but just keep in mind that it's going to take more time for some of those vegetables to cook down. So if I was doing broccoli, I might heat it up real quick in the oven or in the microwave or in another pan before adding it in here because you don't want to have to leave that vegetable in all of the creamy mixture for a long, long, long time waiting for it to cook up, right? Then when you've got it at the desired thickness, the ratio of your half and half and the ratio of your cheese, and you've got everything to the desired thickness that you want, add your chicken in. And then we're just going to stir it all up. And then we're going to add our cooked pasta that we have drained, add it in here and mix it all up. It was incredible. I have made this so many times. Usually I actually use Parmesan whenever I'm making it. But since I had this Gouda that I want to use up, I used it instead. So, but it was incredible. It was tasty. It it fed us for a whole night. Everybody ate, and then there were still leftovers for lunch for a few days. It was delicious. Serve it by itself, add a salad, add some bread. Um, there's really no limitation. All right, I did add some fresh cracked pepper to the top, which you can do. You could also add some oregano or crushed red pepper. That would be good. And then I did add some shaky cheese to the top. Look at how delicious that is. And that pan is a really big pan. I've got a pretty big cast iron skillet there. It was incredible. So tasty. Use things that I already have on hand. Nothing fancy. You can do it. Anyone can make. This is basically homemade Alfredo. Anyone can make it. So we're just going to add it to bowls and add a little bit of shaky cheese to the top. And everybody's going to eat. I didn't serve it with anything extra, but I gave you some ideas before of what you could share it with. That bowl looks little. It is not little. Um, it's like a regular size cereal bowl. Okay, so then we took all of the bones and skin and we took some onion, some carrots, celery, garlic, bay leaves, peppercorns, threw it all into a bowl or into this stock pot, and we made homemade chicken broth. So that one fryer was used for multiple things. I bought these on Amazon. I'm going to leave the link below for you, or I'll leave it here in a card. I took the chicken broth and I put it into these silicone blocks. This is the best way to freeze chicken broth. I'm never going back. I love this. I've got the little ones too. I've got little cubes that I showed you guys before, but I like both. I like having both. So this is what they look like when they're frozen. They pop out so easily. Then you can pop them out and put them into Ziploc bags. So now I've got a big Ziploc bag in my inside freezer. I can just pull one of these out, pop it into whatever I'm needing, or if I don't need quite that much, I can pop out some, I can grab some of the ice cube tray size ones and add it to my meal, add it to my soup that I'm cooking. Easy peasy. All right, guys, I hope that you found this helpful. This was 3 incredible uses for one chicken, one whole chicken. I hope that it helps you. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.